Welcome to episode 5 of the Gingerspyce Tiefling Druid. I am level 5 and I'm out here in Three Barrel Cove, and we're going to take a look at where things are. So we'll look at the gear first, and starting with the necklace. This is new from last level, Charisma 4, Constitution 4. This is also new, Spell Focus Mastery 2. Persuasion is redundant from what I have in the goggles, but I'll be switching those goggles out in another couple levels. Slotted up with Sapphire Protection +2. The goggles, True Seeing, Persuasion again redundant there, and the Strength is redundant at this point too. The armor is the same as last episode, slotted with a Sapphire of Moderate Fortification, Electricity Absorption, and Invulnerability. This is a legacy set of Bracers of Wind that, years ago in the old Kenneth crafting system, you could add what was called a Shard of Masterful Craftsmanship to it and reduce the minimum level by 2. So this is actually the level 7 version. You can't do that anymore. The stats on this are a little bit different. The new version actually has higher magnetism but slightly lower lightning lore. But I'm just going to stick with what I got since I already had it. Definitely a nice item though, with the all-on blurry and your lightning lore and magnetism covered. This ring is new, False Life 12, Fire Absorption 15%, Diamond Dexterity 2. The boots are largely redundant. The feather falling I get from the enhancements, which I'll show you in a few minutes. So really the only thing I'm benefiting from here is the balance, which is not really a big deal. Balance is helpful, but I probably should have something better, but I just don't care enough to bother. I'm not worried about being optimally geared with every last little thing at every level. So I know I have a nicer set of boots waiting for me at level 7, so I'm just going to keep wearing these for now. This is the same as last episode, Healing Amplification, Glaciation, and slotted with the Master's Gift. Quan's Band, I probably should have better wisdom at this point, but again, I'm not going to worry about being optimally geared with every last thing for these lobby levels, so this is good enough for now until I get higher wisdom on a level 7 item. Dodge 4, Strength 4 on the belt. Also a legacy version of the Cloak of Flames. This is the level 7 version that I reduced the minimum level by 2. Again, you cannot do that anymore. Similar to the Bracers of Wind, the new version has higher combustion but a little bit lower fire lore, so again, just sticking with what I had. And the trinket is the Sheltering and Resistance. Shield is the same, Poison Resistance, Cold Absorption. The Vorpal Scimitar is new. This one has Deadly and a red slot with a Meteoric Star Ruby just for fun. Also has Festival Icy Burst on it. So again, the Vorpal, so nice in lobby Reaper questing, really just all heroic Reaper questing, especially for someone like me. Melee DPS is not at all a focus of what I do, but even I can roll a 20 and insta-kill virtually any mob as long as it's not death warded. So it's a fun little toy to swing around. Alternatively, like I said, you could use a caster stick, meaning a scepter or something that you've crafted with caster stats on it, like spell power and lore, for example. Some other meaningful gear that's available at this level range. You could be using scrolls of Cure Critical Wounds. I'll have a slightly higher chance to use that when I'm buffed. Scrolls of Fire Shield are available at level 5. Fire Shield is hugely important and a very underused and underappreciated buff. You really should have Scrolls of Fire Shield with you as soon as you can, and situationally this is a great buff to have. 50% absorption to cold or fire is situationally very, very valuable. I've also upgraded to Wands of Cure Serious Wounds, which you can use at level 5. And I also have some Scrolls of Restoration that are usable at level 5. Don't think there's anything. Oh yes, Mantle of the World Shaper. It's a very, very important piece of gear to have. This comes from the end reward of the Threnal Chain. It is always on the end reward for doing the chain. And what's important about this is it has 5 charges of spell absorption. So this is, your earliest level level, spell absorption items, which are hugely important in Reaper mode because Famine Reapers are so deadly in heroics. But if you equip your spell absorption when you see a Famine Reaper, it renders them almost inert. They're basically just spellcasters. Sometimes they'll slap you in the face if you get too close to them, but generally they just spellcast, and they can wipe out a party with some of their spells if you don't have spell absorption on. But you put this on, and suddenly Famine Reapers are no big deal at all. And your other even more important piece of spell absorption gear is the Pale Lavender Ioun Stone. Ioun Stones can drop randomly from any level appropriate chest, but it's extraordinarily rare. However, you can farm Ioun Stones out of the Dreaming Dark quest. If you don't know, on every third completion, even if you do it on casual, there is a random Ioun Stone on your end reward list. So you just keep farming it until you get the one you want. And like I said, you can even run that on casual. That quest can be knocked out in under 10 minutes on casual. And, sometimes it might take you a while to get the one you want, but in the meantime, you'll get some other Ioun Stones that, you can sell on the auction house or the shard exchange and make a little bit of platter shards. Make sure that when you acquire your Pale Lavender Ioun Stone that you do not use it right away. Don't use it until it is upgraded. Before it is upgraded is a single-use thing. When the charges are used up, it goes poof and is destroyed. But once you upgrade it, it gets 50 charges and it recharges 15 charges per rest. So make sure you upgrade it. And this is one of the most important spell absorption items in the game. Later on we're going to get our Jeweled Cloak and our Epic Jeweled Cloak and your Mage Star, and there's some other items. But this one's huge and is the best Lobby spell absorption item in the game. I highly, highly recommend you have this on every toon that you're serious about. It is not bound when you find it, so you can farm it out on another toon, but make sure that you upgrade it on the toon that you want it for, because it becomes bound to character once it is upgraded. Okay, what else? That's what my stats look like. And you can see that I'm already ranked 29, well into level 6. But I still have some vibes I want to do. Not going to be talking about skills anymore. There's nothing to mention on feats. On the spell side, I do have access to level 3 spells now. I did pick up Spider Skin, which gives me some bonus to natural armor. Important for an AC build like me. And it just gives me a +2 now, but that is tiered. It'll give me a higher bonus at later levels, and also give me some bonus to saves against poison. And then I have the regular version of Call Lightning. This is a really strong spell. I love it. And you can see I have both the SLA and the regular version slotted up on my hotbar. And for, to make things simple, I have the same button used for both, except it's the SLA version that's like number pad 6, and the regular version is control number pad 6. The regular version of Produce Flame is number pad 7, and the SLA is control number pad 7. So they're both right there, same buttons. It's just control or not control. I do have this fully meta'd, but I only use it kind of in more urgent situations. It's pretty expensive. They have it, maximized and quickened. It's 47 spell points. I only have 575 spell points right now, so that's, 12 castings or so. So I really only use this, if there's a nasty champion or a Reaper around. Otherwise, I'm just going to stick to the SLA. The SLA has a much longer cooldown than the regular version. The regular version has a very short cooldown. The SLA is 6-second cooldown. But it's good for urgent situations. Alternatively, you could load up an unmeta'd version of Call Lightning, and if you wanted to spam that, that's cool too. Some people like to do that. But like I said, if you keep casting, your fully meta'd Call Lightning at this level range, you're going to run out of mana really quick. It's also worth mentioning that, I was talking about the wands and the scrolls. It's, spell point management is a really important skill to hone for somebody who's new to caster. People who are new to casters often just blow their mana really quickly, and they're wondering what the hell am I supposed to do? Well, when you're a healer, if you're healing everybody from your spell points, you're just casting your regular cure spells on them, you're going to run out of mana really quickly. So it's really nice to use wands and scrolls for maintenance healing, and I do use both because they're on different cooldown. So, I can alternate between wands and scrolls when I need to heal people a little bit faster than waiting for the wand to come off cooldown. If it's an urgent situation, I will go ahead and throw a regular cure spell. Right now, that just means cure light wounds, which I have maximize and quicken, but again, I'm only using that for emergency, fast heal needs, and later on, of course, I'll get better healing spells that I can throw in emergencies, but that's all I have right now. But wands and scrolls are a great way to extend your mana pool. I highly recommend that healers use those for maintenance healing and saving your spell points to throw healing spells just for more urgent situations. Alright. On the enhancement side, I did pick up Autumn Winds. And this is a nice new enhancement as of update 38. This gives you Featherfall and 3 dodge and 10% chance to knock down enemies that strike you in melee. And since I'm a frontline caster, I'm getting hit a lot, so that actually procs a fair bit. It's pretty nice. And for 1 action point, hell yeah, give it to me. That is an active toggle, so you're going to want to make sure that you drag that down into your hotbar from your enhancements sheet like so. And you got to click on it to activate it. You can tell it's active when it's got the, circling square animation around it. I've got the Call Lightning maxed out. I think I had that maxed out last level for last video. The only thing else I picked up here, maybe I did pick up the Wax and Wane. This is 2% additional crit chance with spells of your current season. And you can manually select your season between summer and winter now. It's not like the olden days when they used to just, every 5 minutes it would toggle back and forth on its own, and that was really irritating. They changed it to stances now, and you choose whichever one you want. And, that's something you can load up in your hotbar, and you can switch on the fly if you want to. I just stay in summertime, Later on, once we get you fire on water elemental forms, it's going to switch seasons for you automatically, which is kind of nice. You switch to water elemental form, it switches to winter season, and then fire elemental form is going to automatically switch to summer season. You can manually change that so you can be in winter season in fire form and vice versa, but it's nice that it automatically does that for you later on. I also got rid of the Hellish Rebuke and the Ferocious Rebuke. So the Hellish Rebuke, I didn't notice any fire damage happening on mobs that were hitting me. So if it's proccing, it's not very much. And the Ferocious Rebuke, I demonstrated it in an earlier video, and I saw it proc once. And it just procs so infrequently that it doesn't even seem worth having. So I decided to give Obscuring Darkness a try. So this puts a little dark cloud around you. It gives you a 20% miss chance. But what was interesting to me is this Lasting Darkness. Enemies that enter your Obscuring Darkness have a chance to be blinded with no save. Similar to the knockdown effect of the Hellish Rebuke, I've seen this proc like once. So I'm not even sure it's worth it at all. So that's really disappointing. Might end up getting rid of it later. But it is a prerequisite for this Student of Darkness. While in your Obscuring Darkness, you get +3 saving throws, +3 MRR, and 15 MRR cap. So that's interesting. Might keep it. I have a lot of extra racial points from my past lives, so what the hell. Okay, I also picked up Incineration, and, both of them, and these give 2% spell critical chance with all spells, plus an additional 2% with fire spells. This is only 1 action point, and then this one is 2. I'm not sure why one's 1 and one's 2, but that's what it is. And so that's 4% crit chance with all spells, and total of 8 with fire spells. This is a, point for point, a better investment than your Wax and Wane lines. This only gives 2% crit chance with the spells associated with your current season, whereas this is 2% crit chance with all spells, plus an additional 2% with fire spells. So go for this first if you're Tiefling before the Wax and Wane, but the Wax and Wane is definitely a good investment, and you may need to spend those spells there, or those action points there, to work up to tier 4. I will be respecking once I get to level 8 and dumping the points in here and maybe some extra points here, because I have 4 extra points spent here and then 2 here, because I want to start working up to this tier 4 stuff that I'll talk about next episode. But I did, just with the extra points, since I couldn't work up to tier 4 now, I just decided to spend a couple extra points over here to get some hit points and a little bit of MRR. So that is that. Reaper points I mentioned last time, but I'm going to bring them up again. At level 4 is when you can first spend your Reaper points. The most you can spend at level 4 is 36, and you can't spend any more until level 9 when you have access to the tier 2 cores, and at level 10 you'll have access to the tier 2 trees. I can't emphasize enough that having Reaper points is so important to be successful in Reaper mode. When you're new to Reaper mode and you don't have a lot of points, you get banged up pretty bad. And I have found that once you get to about 15 Reaper points and you start that next life with 15 Reaper points, you really start to turn a corner in terms of your survivability in Reaper mode. So, if you don't have a lot of Reaper points right now, you're running around with 3 or 4 or 5 Reaper points, you're getting banged up pretty bad. Those first, 15 or so come, they're it can be a little bumpy. So, don't get discouraged. Like I said, once you reach about 15, things really start to turn a corner, and it only gets better from there. As far as the quests that I've done, I actually did a lot of favor cleanup from some lower level stuff. And then, let's see, what else have I done? Like I said, I'm posting my, in the video description, my leveling strategy, my leveling guide that shows all the quests that I normally do. But did the depths, did fire caves 1 and 2 already. I actually made a video of that, and I already did a video of this intro, but the mic was messed up, so I'm having to re-record it. Lair of summoning, sanguine heart. So, alright, let's go do some quests.
Oh yeah, water breathing stuff. You have or don't?
You don't need it.
It's amazing what you take for granted. Especially when you're used to running another tune, like on your main or something, and then you switch. Then you don't have the whatever it is you had a minute ago. Mm-hmm. Sheesh, buff didn't even let me buff. Huh? Thank you.
I threw the regular version of Call Lightning there. You can just run by these rats.
Gladly, it was a fate test. Champion. Oh crap.
Stand back.
Trapping. Ready trap.
I can see your wings underwater. That's great.
Ha!
I like the purple. Yeah, you're easy to follow with the purple wings.
Just got my 83rd point. Only 166,000 to the next one.
I had my first, oh, you play with Gingerspyce question. The newest guy in our Monday night static group. And he said, do you have a character named Twizzles? And I said, yes. Do you play with a guy named Gingerspyce? Yeah.
Did you tell him what a nerd I really am?
No. But yeah, he's famous.
Nothing wrong with being a nerd.
I know, right?
Nerds are us. Mushroom.
Little Mama and Twizzles here are both on alts that have very uber low Reaper points, I believe. Like 2 and 4 Reaper points each.
We're all pretty nerdy here, hey?
Well, we do play Dungeons
Nerd
and
and
Dragons
proud.
online.
Muscle.
Stoned him.
Stone.
Remnants.
Yeah, I just realized that fire vulnerability that you get from the the improved scorch or whatever in the Tiefling tree, it only lasts like a few seconds.
It does?
Well,
thought
and
it
I
sucks after
take that back.
you hit.
It has two portions to it. One of them makes him take extra fire damage. That lasts like 15 seconds.
Yeah.
And then the other portion
Yeah.
that actually makes them vulnerable if they were immune only lasts like 3 seconds.
Oh, but
Thank
I
you,
thought
thank
that
you.
I'd have to read it. I thought it stacked.
Also,
I mean, they both get applied, but the one, like I said, the thing that makes immune to fire mobs actually vulnerable, that only lasts 3 seconds. And that really sucks. And it's kind of pointless for me because I'll already be able to make mobs vulnerable to fire once I get Fire Elemental for them. Or once I get
Yeah,
Anger of the
the
Noonday
Druid,
Sun
yeah.
buff at level 17.
As a druid. Oh, that's what you use when, like in Shroud, when you make the portals vulnerable?
Yep, it's Anger of the Noonday Sun, which was reworked in Update 38. It's actually useful now. It was basically pointless before. It was so crazy bad before. And what made it especially embarrassingly bad is that, its counterpart, Mantle Icy Soul, is awesome. But Anger of the Noonday Sun was just laughably bad.
oh, thank you.
Whee! Champion, another one. And another one.
Yeah, this is really bad. Put on spell absorption there. This
Telling other
caster.
champions.
Damn.
Oh, Gingerspyce is here.
Yes. Thank you.
I'm bringing out O'Leary. She can heal you faster than I can.
Are you resting, Mama?
No.
Then I'll give you
I'm
some
saving
strength
her.
and some spider skin, and how about a jump too?
Oh, thank you.
Ooh.
I'll give you some DB. Oh no, you're shining? Oh. Okay.
Got quicken always off for the buffs, very important.
I can double up.
Another mana conservation tip. Stoned him. You can grab that lost soul, Mama. Open it just in case we need it.
Keep forgetting about that hidden shrine.
Now we're staying underwater and going down over here. Come stand on the valve.
Thank you.
Might as well drink a Yuko pot because we can. Two collectibles over here. triple champion.
And a Fury
Ooh,
And a
Weapon.
Fear Reaper. It's a party.
Remnant.
Guess I'll be using that shrine.
One.
Double remnant. Yeah, I'm using that shrine now.
Yeah.
I'm probably just gonna finish 5s and then go to bed.
You're gonna be taking 6
Yep.
later? 'Cause I can take 6. Alright.
I don't know if you noticed that there, but I aimed above the lever. If you struggle with hitting ranged levers, it doesn't seem to want to register the hit. Target just a little bit above it. And I
The
find
door
that helps
before
me.
you opens as if you were expected.
Reaper spell power boost. Yep, and just unload on them because this is the end. $21,000
Oh, I think they'll take easy.
for 15 minutes. Nice work.
Okay. 3 nerds take 2.
I did find this. Ocean something.
Remnant over here. Might as well use Illyri to
See 1 remnant.
top us off and heal me.
Oh, sorry,
Ow!
Mama.
Ooh.
Sorry.
Yikes.
He got knocked down for my autumn winds. We have to kill everything.
Boy.
And he got knocked down by autumn winds. See, autumn winds is a 10% chance to knock him down. And, you know, I see that proc way more than, you know, the blind or the knockdown effect from the hellish rebuke and the obscuring darkness. So that tells me that those effects are way less than 10%.
Run on. Kill you one.
Thank you.
Look, little bat.
He just got knocked down by autumn winds. There's a sound effect. It sounds like gust of wind when it gets knocked down. There it goes again. Heal me quickly, or are you doing the puzzle?
I felt my shit.
Thank you. You don't have to heal me anymore. Oh, we do have a mob left,
Oh, we
actually.
got one more mob there.
That's enough.
Think he's mine.
He's not a champion. Alright, don't stand anywhere near the puzzle, just in case, you know, as you're moving
Okay,
around, you don't
I'm down here.
hit
Not,
something.
not now.
Yeah, we were only on the ramp. Mm-hmm.
Well, I did stick my face in one of those exploding jewel type things.
Yeah, the fact that you were actually standing near the one that went off is a little suspect. Just saying. Because what are the odds that you're
I didn't
standing
touch
next
it.
to that one? Right, but what if you were like tabbing out or something and you hit it by mistake or whatever?
Alright. Well, maybe, but I... Okay.
But
Well, either way.
it could have been me. You know, it's this thing's so
It's alright.
convoluted.
That makes sense, though.
It's, you know, I've messed it up a couple times now, so it's not beyond me to do it. That's for sure.
But I can certainly help.
Oh, come on.
I'll lie on the floor and look at the ceiling.
Yeah, I guess that would make sense, wouldn't it? Dang.
Well, it's a really sensitive puzzle, isn't it? Like one wrong whatever, and it's...
Oh yeah, one wrong turn and it's gonna start zapping the guy. You want to make sure you get it all set first before you turn the light on.
Yeah, I went over to look after he was getting filled with bolts, and so... Huh. Like you're lounging with a large cigarette, Mama.
I... I'm on fire.
Alright, hold your breath again. This time I'm staying up here. Just in case something goes wrong this time, we'll be able to turn the light off.
I'm not moving.
Two fingers are lit. Three fingers are lit.
They
Yay.
do briefly light up on the ceiling
Did they?
as it goes around. Yeah.